Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and I am the pastor of New Life, Global Methodist Church in State College. Now, for our service this weekend, we are looking at Genesis chapter 45, verses 3 through 11, and verse 15. In this passage, Joseph reveals himself to his brothers and speaks of God's plan. Now, this passage pretty much is the end of the Joseph narrative in Genesis. And when we look at this passage, we really look at the totality of his life, and we see where God has been at work and where God has been making plans throughout Joseph's life. But whenever we look at God's plan, we need to be careful, because we want to trust God's plan, but at the same time, we need to be careful that we don't look at everything bad that happens and say, well, that's God's will or God's plan. And that's where we need to look deeper and see what the basic understanding of God's plan is. Because when we look at Joseph's life, we can see some horrible things happen that weren't caused by God, but we see how they ultimately played into what God wanted done anyway. Maybe it just changed some of the details of how things happened. But we do need to look at this and to better understand God's plan as we seek to live a life worthy of Christ's suffering and death on our behalf. So that's what we're going to get into. So our worship service is at 10 a.m. at the Center Learning Community Charter School located at 2645 West College Avenue in State College. We are live streaming on Facebook. We're still tweaking things as we continue to grow as a new church, and we do post the sermons on YouTube early in the next week. But until next time, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in worship.